The fighting in Dagorhir is pretty much just amazing.
Maethodoron is the local chapter of Dagorhir, a national organization dedicated to full-contact padded weapon fighting in a fantasy and historical atmosphere. Many different weapons and styles are present in Dagorhir.
It's a full contact sport, obviously, and it's safe. You can try all different kinds of styles and find what's right for you. It's pretty much just like the best thing you can do. It pretty much just surpasses like all sports.
Like a sword in each hand, mainly because I'm ambidextrous. I tried using a shield, but I want to use it as a weapon, so it makes it easier just to drop the shield and pick up another weapon.
Dagorhir weapons are constructed of a solid core, like PVC or fiberglass. It is then covered with 3 layers of closed-cell foam, like the camping mat found at nearby department stores. Carpet tape can be used to attach the layers to the core as well as each other, although most groups use DAP, a type of glue. Small strips are used to fill in the sides of the weapon so that the core cannot be felt from any angle. Then a cap is placed on the bottom of the weapon for safety. This cap, or pommel, is made up of closed-cell foam and covered in duct tape. The blade must be covered in cloth. There are a variety of weapons that can be used. The standard weapon is called a blue sword, which is a weapon with a blade at least 12 inches long, but with the total weapon length shorter than 48 inches. Flex weapons such as a flail are also classified as blue weapons.
One of the major weapons that you'll encounter in Dagorhir fighting is the usage of what we like to call a blue weapon. It's a single or double-handed sword that deals single damage or blue damage. Blue weapons usually are used in conjunction with another blue weapon or a shield as protection. What kind of damage a blue weapon will do is it will do hacking damage to any limb that it hits, or it will do hacking damage to the chest. Most blue weapons are only hacking weapons unless they're blue-green, in which case that weapon would also be able to stab, but more on that later in green weapons. For blue weapons, when one is attacking, the legal targets that a person can hit are arms, legs, torso, and the torso region, which includes back and groin. The illegal targets are hand-on weapon, foot on ground, and of course head and neck area. If you were to attack someone like Velkin here wearing armor, it would take 2 hits with a blue weapon single-handed to the armor. It would take 2 firm strikes. The first strike disables the armor. The second strike then would count as an active hit to the location where you're hitting. So for Velkin, you would have to hit him once in all of these regions to absolutely negate all of his armor use. Like I said, 2 hits with a blue weapon to any region with armor is considered a hit to that region unarmored. What happens is if you get hit with a blue weapon in the arm, you would take your arm and you would place it behind your back. If you would get hit in that arm again, that would count as a hit on the torso. That arm is successfully hacked off. If you were to get hit in the leg, you would go and put that leg on the ground with your good leg, the leg that you haven't been hit in, presented, so that way it tells other fighters on the field who might come up to you which leg is still able to count towards your hits. With blue weapons, you have the 2-limb rule. If you get hit in any 2 limbs, you're dead. This could be 2 arms, it could be 2 legs, or it could be an arm and a leg. Blue weapons cannot break shields. If you have a shield, you are entirely impervious to blue weapon strikes, may then be one-handed or two-handed. Blue weapons cannot break other weapons either.
Red weapons, such as greatswords or glaives, are at least 48 inches in length and are slashing or hacking weapons. The primary benefits of using a red weapon is breaking through armor and shields.
Alright, now we're going to discuss the use of a red weapon. This is a greatsword. You can tell it's pretty long, and we put red tape on it to denote red. Alright, so the good thing about using a red weapon is you can break shields as well as cut through armor. So a nice solid hit to a shield, red, that would count as a hit, and then 2 of those breaks the shield, so red. Okay, now he doesn't have a shield anymore. Now I can actually attack him, and it's a lot easier. Alright, and another advantage is instead of having to do 2 hits to armor, you can just do 1. So, red.
Green weapons are thrusting weapons such as spears. A blue or red weapon may also be a green weapon if a special thrusting tip is placed on the end of the weapon during construction.
The next fairly common type of weapon in Dagorhir fighting are green weapons, or thrusting or stabbing weapons. Green weapons deal 2 types of damage, single green and double green. The types of damage dealt are determined by how many hands the wielder of the weapon has on it. So for instance, a single green strike would be obviously a strike with 1 hand, and the wielder would then strike and call green. Only green. Double green strike would be the wielder would keep 2 hands firmly on the weapon through the duration of the strike and call double green when they hit the target. The difference between these 2 types of damage is single green strikes do not penetrate armor, and double green strikes would penetrate armor. So it's very advantageous for the wielder of the weapon to know which color they're calling at the time. Green or thrusting weapons deal thrusting damage, which means they do not count towards your 2-limb death count. If arm or leg are stabbed with a green weapon, that arm just is held disabled, not removed at the side, and you can actually be stabbed in all 4 of your limbs and not die. Green weapons are not able to hit you in the neck or head region. Hand-on weapon from a thrust to a hand on a weapon from a green weapon does not count. Thrust to a foot on the ground also does not count. Green weapons do kill 2 hits with the torso, groin, back area. So for instance, if I were to hit Velkin here with a single green to the torso, since he's armored, I would call green and he would not die. He would be perfectly fine. He's armored there. The only way for me to actually kill him with my spear at this point in time would be to double green in the armor, and then that would be a legal kill.
Shields may be constructed with a solid core covered in 2 layers of closed cell foam with a cloth covering. Shields in other groups are often constructed entirely with a sturdier foam. Smaller shields may be constructed entirely of closed cell foam and covered in cloth, and can be worn on the arm while using a weapon. Combatants are encouraged to wear medieval and fantasy garb during practices, but it is a requirement at larger national events. Although not required, armor may be worn, but must be constructed of a period material, like steel or leather. Plastic armor will not pass, but plastic protective gear may be worn. Projectile weapons such as arrows, javelins, and even rocks, which are constructed of a ball of closed cell foam and covered in cloth, are used. Only a combatant wearing a helmet may be safe from headshots from these weapons. Arrows and javelins may strike the body anywhere and are scored the same way as a green weapon. Many different battles are fought at a Maethodoron practice. The most common is the resurrection melee, which is an every-man-for-himself battle. When a combatant is killed, he reports to what is called a resurrection point, after which he can come back into the battle. This is usually a timed event. There are causeway battles, where combatants protect a causeway from marauders, and the zombie melee, where 1 or 2 people are chosen to attack a group of combatants. When the zombies are killed, they go back to a resurrection point and return to the battle. When a combatant on the living side is killed, they go to the resurrection point and return to the battle on the zombie side. While combat comprises most of Dagorhir activities, Maethodoron members try to add more to their experience. Folk dancing and game playing may be seen at a Maethodoron event. Maethodoron provides a fun and safe way to enjoy the adventure of medieval combat. Interested parties can contact Maethodoron by emailing mercane@maethodoron.com for more information.